And Tom and I were having a little conversation about St. Patrick's Day and other things going on. So happy St. Patrick's Day. Keep watching them in Washington. In my 49 years of life, it's the worst politics I've ever seen and the worst shenanigans I've ever seen being played. That's why we have a Constitution, so you have to vote for legislation, not so you deem it approved. And now we go on to our meeting after public comment. Transfer ownership of agriculture mosquito control chemicals. This is pretty straightforward. We have a bunch of chemicals left, about $40,000 worth of chemicals that were used to spray for mosquitoes and larvae and things like that to keep the West Nile virus threat down. This is when we thought we were going to have a mosquito and vector control district. We received a grant from the state. That's how we got the $40,000 worth of chemicals. In the meantime, that measure did not pass in about 2005-2006 range. We still have a serious problem with West Nile virus. It's just right now a lot more people are vaccinating their horses, but we did have a death from it at that time, a human death, and it is still around and we're still vulnerable to it. So we're going to enlist the help of San Joaquin County to train our people and to help us with any applications and things in the future. Our people will probably be trained and then do the applying, but ongoing training and help and maintenance will be provided by San Joaquin County. Michael Boitano, our Ag Commissioner, assured us of that. But John Hopkins said we have to get rid of these chemicals. They've been around for a long time, and they do have some dates on them that will make them useless soon. Mike Israel, our environmental health and Coupa director, agreed that this is an appropriate use to go ahead and donate them to San Joaquin County, since they will have a reciprocal relationship with us. So the board took that action. Common Ground Senior Services, Elizabeth Thompson gave her report, very extensive. We did ask her for a written report prior to the end of the month. And with that, the board approved a $15,000 donation out of county funds to Common Ground Senior Services. This is a yearly amount that we have dedicated in our budget to Common Ground. Very important. The seniors, and the way we look at it, they gave a lot to us. It's time we give back to them. And, you know, a lot of these seniors are homebound. They can't get out of their homes. They need these meals, the only hot meal they get a day, for the home delivered or Meals on Wheels. Elizabeth did say they received a new truck this year. They got a van with the help of Southern Amarillo Hospital, a grant from there, a handicap van. They've been working with Area 12 and ARTS for contracts for seniors and dollars for additional transportation. They did receive some stimulus money for a congregate restaurant program. Two of those are held down at Caddy's and Castle Oaks and Comanche Community Center. And John Plaz did indicate, too, that supplementing the $15,000 was another $3,000 that's coming from the discount prescription card program that came out of a conference that John attended and brought it back. So that has over 900 users now, and a very good job there. We had two issues that were interrelated, and from last week, too, a continuance of the Motherlode Internet request for letter of support, and also a Corporation for Education Network in Citizen California, Scenic. The Scenic program would help primarily, as Frank Lasinski from Volcano Communications said, the education infrastructure in 18 different counties, primarily education, and then you go over to libraries. So you're going to be tying into whether it's the education 8 through high school or high school through college. I think this one goes all the way from K through 20 is what it said. So colleges like San Joaquin Delta College would probably be helped by this, but in our county, Amarillo County Library and Office of Education would be helped. They're estimated over 4 million people in these 18 counties, 11% of the population in the state, and about 39,530 square miles. This is related to other projects. It's a middle mile broadband infrastructure project that would bring direct fiber connectivity, while you have the Motherlode Internet project, which is the in-mile that would actually benefit from the middle mile activities that are taking place. And then we have the Central Sierra Planning Council, which is 4 counties, Amador, Calaveras, Alpine, and Tuolumne, which are going to bring middle mile up to Amador County, and we're working with different entities on that. Volcano is one of those. So what will happen is all of these entities will benefit, so the letters of support are trying to get help for all of them. All of them may not be approved. The Scenic is applying for $65 million, while some of the other projects may be a little bit less than that, but you're still talking about millions. Lastly, the board covered an item that we don't like to cover very much. It's code enforcement and really having to put the hammer down on someone, but Mr. Marcellus, Mr. and Mrs. Marcellus, I believe they're up in the Pine Grove area. This went to an abatement hearing. The board agreed with the hearing officers on their judgments, and we are going to evict the people out of that residence and get the property owner to make the necessary improvements. 223-6470, and Supervisor Richard Forster, give us a call if you have any issues. We'll talk to you next week.